Okay, we got a new update on this David situation. It keeps on getting crazier. I don't know. So why are we just finding out about all of this? You telling me nobody knew this guy was such a weirdo before? Nobody made a report about shit before? We just all finding shit out right now together? Video about Trap Lord Ross. David might have a second body. I'm telling you, if a second tower is hit, bro, please need to go ahead and arrest him. Why hasn't he been arrested, bro? Maybe that's the next reaction we got to do.
So the David situation just keeps getting darker, and some new stuff has been circulating over the last couple of days that, I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like other people might have been in danger based on what was going on, based on what was going on with David and this young underage girl Celeste.
You know, I trust his opinion on it because he's the who be making the documentaries on King Von and them Florida rappers, bro. He knows everything. He knows more than the cops, bro.
Okay,
so if he says
it's very strange. It's very spooky. And based on a couple of messages that have been circulating...
Trap Lord Ross, by the way. Yeah, I'm talking way too much, bro. Let's go.
It does sound like there's a possibility that there could be another victim. Another person might have lost their life having been tangled up in this twisted love triangle. And as I said before, this just keeps getting sadder and sadder. Now, if you saw the video that I posted yesterday, I did a full 2-hour breakdown about the whole situation.
So they're saying it's a love triangle at this point.
I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. I did this video yesterday, all right? David hid clues about murder in every song. I didn't intend for
2-hour video?
2 hours, but I just kept finding facts. I kept finding info. I kept finding lyrics and music videos that were extremely alarming.
Damn!
And you know, you guys have kind of given your response on this. I think everybody is just in shock and disbelief over what's going on. This comments put him in J4IL. Put D4vd
You'll be feeling it in prison.
J4IL, saying if you're hanging out with a freshly out of elementary school child as someone who's in college, university, you are suspect. Says his song lyrics read like poems from a 14-year-old emo kid who got grounded. People saying they'd never heard of him. The man was singing PDF jingles. And this is what I'm going to talk to you about today. It says her brother said in a chat that he said he was waiting till she turned 18 to marry her. I just don't understand how so many people knew and didn't question it or do anything. Now, it's interesting that he would say that because there's this image that's been going around on Reddit. Because I don't know if this has been posted yet, but here's a screenshot from one of Celeste's stories. Now, that's her left hand and that's her ring finger.
Oh,
this is an engagement ring. Okay? This is an engagement.
That's a promise ring. I don't think that's an engagement. I think that's a promise ring. But... okay, why? I'm sorry. I know cops don't really care about situations like this. We've been seeing that shit with the Gideon videos. They don't really care about predators, which is weird. But you're telling me nobody reported this shit to the cops when we have this much evidence? She was over here posting her ring with this nigga. Like, what?
Engagement ring. I guess this would have allegedly been her Finstagram account, and she's showing off a big rock. She's showing off an engagement ring with love hearts. She's out for lunch.
Why is the screenshot and not shown to the police?
Or something. With David, right? We recognize that little spot star on his head from, you know, from the last video. He'd appeared. It's in the video thumbnail. You know, it's the same image of him with the little star on his head. Are those spots like zit stickers? I'll be using those. I got the blue ones. I definitely can't be rocking the black ones now. That's a bad look. But yeah, people are saying that this is an engagement ring. Okay, so this is essentially something that's been going around. I did touch on this in the last video, but I didn't really have time. There was a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even get a chance to get to. But you know, trigger warning. Okay, I'm making this video for documentary journalistic purposes. Okay, this is a story in the public interest. It's a public story, and
speaking of documentaries, I know this Netflix doc is gonna go crazy. I've said it before. But with the more and more evidence that's just coming out, like, nigga, this shit gonna be insane. Like, every single day, it's more and more evidence proving that this man is guilty. Like, it's crazy.
Just need to give you guys a warning, okay? I don't intend to disrespect or put down or belittle any of the situations that I'll be covering in this video. It's a very serious topic. It's very important that I warn you that we're going to be talking about very triggering themes like SA, you know, an underage girl seemingly being groomed, and very nefarious activities. So, you know, if that's not for you, if that's something that's going to be triggering for you, don't watch the rest of this. But essentially, this post is going around that Celeste's brother speaks up and reveals that David did kill his sister whole chat
I've
attached.
seen this
And they're saying
video.
that this
I
is
think
her
we
brother.
reviewed this.
All right, this is a screenshot
somewhere.
of something that I touched on in the last video. Celeste's brother speaks up and reveals that David did kill his sister. Okay, and this is a chat. Somebody says, "Dude, why does David follow you? All respect to your sister, and I hate how shitty people are being. Was it really him, Jesus, all love, man?" He replied, "Yes, it was him, because he found my account out of nowhere and followed me." This dude says, "Fuck. Well, he has it coming. That's wild to just randomly. Did you ever even talk to him? I met him once in person." She says, something, being with him, like, was she...
Now, imagine being Celeste's brother in the situation. I'm going to be honest, if that was me, I'm beating the absolute shit out of David, bro. Like, yo, that star on his little face ain't the only thing he's going to have to be covering. Shit.
living with him?
I ain't going to lie.
All of this shit's so confusing and disgusting. And he replies, "I knew and I went to the police about it, but they said lack of evidence, so it was waved off." They responded,
I've seen
"Bullshit.
that too. Crazy.
Now that there's 1,000 people backing you up, that won't happen again. But if they had listened," he says, "even if they don't do anything, they haven't even done anything towards him." And they reply, "That's how it is with celebrities. Just look at fucking Diddy. They don't do shit." He says, "I know it effing sucks. Effing crazy that people suffer for it. How long has she been gone?" And he replied, "Dead." And he says 2 weeks. Now,
my God.
this might have been a big reveal. I don't know if this is necessarily accurate. There's been a lot of speculation over how long the body had been left in that trunk. Trigger warning, but the body had been cut up, wrapped in plastic, and it had been severely decomposed. That's what the police said. Now, he's saying 2 weeks. That could be information that's been revealed to the family privately to say that the body was decomposed and she would have passed away 2 weeks ago, or maybe he knows, maybe she stopped replying 2 weeks ago. Maybe they last heard from her 2 weeks ago. Maybe that's an indication of she was active until 2 weeks ago, but we don't know for sure. So the person replies, says, "Damn, that soon? People have been saying like a month. The dude's a weirdo. His songs all have weird messages and imagery." He says, "What do you think happened? Like he didn't just want her to expose him being with her?" The brother replies, "I don't know." He says, "Damn, was your sister like in love with him and choosing to stay? I'm guessing that it was all just him manipulating her." He said, "Yeah, she was always saying that he was waiting till she was 18 to get married and stuff like that." He replied, "Effing sick. What's crazy about all those people in his circle who knew and say stuff? I saw one guy did get sued by something.
See, the thing with these type of chats, I don't know the validity of it. Because, okay, one thing that's going through my mind right now, bro, if my sister just got killed and dismembered in the back of a trunk, the last thing I would want to do is damn near basically have an interview with a random nigga I seen. Even if he's my friend, this is the last thing I would want to do. So I don't know if this is real, but if it is, this is alarming.
Something pushing. He said, "Dog, what? I never knew that. My sister wouldn't say anything, ever." He says, "Dude, there's so much stuff in the Discord that he has." He says, "What the F? There's a Discord?" And he says, "Yeah, it was just his fan Discord and stuff. I wasn't in it, obviously, but from what I know, he was decently active in it." And some screenshots and screen recordings were posted today and yesterday after the news showed one guy saying this. And basically, this is the post from the Discord. Somebody commented, "Drop the song about the missing girl, Celeste Rivas." This was all the way back in August 2024. Wow. And he says, "What the F? No way, dude. Please send me more if you know." He says, "I got you, bro. Let me find everything that's been posted for you. That's why I said so many people were after David now after this. They have found so much evidence to back this stuff up." The brother replies, "Dude, I never knew this stuff." And then this random guy says, "Only a small number of people were aware until today." The brother replied, "I wish I could have known. I could have used this." And the dude replies, "You don't have your sister added on Discord, right?" The bro replies, "I don't even have Discord." And then this dude says, "Yeah, I was just seeing because someone had a screenshot of her account, supposedly."
This is why, I'm telling you, when we have daughters, if you have a daughter, make sure you know what they're doing. This bitch-ass nigga David was a Discord girly bandit. He was talking to all of the little girls in Discord, bro. And this is how this shit happened, bro. It's sad. Be very careful. Predators always go on Discord, Reddit, and Roblox and shit like that, bro. And then, Minecraft.
This guy replies, said,
and Snapchat.
This is what I got. He sends all the Discord screenshots.
Ain't nowhere to go.
Bunch of lyrics, other posts, other comments, sends it all to the brother. He said, "Are those photos something? I don't know if that's just those photos real or those photos in here." And that song was an unreleased David song. and he's posting all of this stuff. Here's the video proving those messages are real. And he replies, are those photos of her? He says, yes. Do you know of any of your sister's Instagram accounts? There were some messages people said was her messaging friends, but not really confirmed yet. And then he sends these screenshots, which, look, these are screenshots from a leaked conversation with Celeste and a friend where she appears to admit to having relations with David. All right?
We've seen those.
And then the brother sends a bunch of pictures of Celeste saying, that's my sister, dog.
Oh, my God.
That's the same girl. And he says, if it is.
Yo, okay. So this might actually be real. I haven't seen these pictures circulating online yet. This low-key might be real.
And he says, you think this is real? And now this is where it gets crazy and we start talking about another victim. Yes, do you think this is real? These are the chat logs, okay? And look, I don't...
Okay, hold on. No, let's read this shit. That's my sister, dog. Fuck it is. You think this is real? Yes, I do. I know who Gus is. He's dead. What the fuck? What happened? He got shot up dead.
Do you think this is real? These are the chat logs, okay? And look, I don't know if it's safe to show you this in this video. I didn't show it to you in the last video, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and I'm gonna show you these messages, okay? Trigger warning. These are very dark, but I'm just gonna read these to you and I'm gonna try and redact anything super messed up, okay? But this is allegedly a set of messages between Celeste and a friend. The friend says, I'm just going to check up on you. Celeste says, I don't want to talk to anyone. The friend says, that's it. And she says, okay, yes, of course. And the friend says, but you have to swear you're going to stay safe. Are you still going to talk to David or go back with him? Because I don't want to get you into any more trouble with him. Celeste replies, I'm safe. No, I'm not. The friend says, okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. Don't delete Insta. Celeste replies, love you too, and won't. And now the next set of messages, trigger warning, these do appear to... I don't even want to show this.
I'll save y'all the time. Basically, what the next messages say is, because I'm just going to skip it, because I don't think he's going to show it. But if he does, he's probably going to be yapping. Basically, the messages say that she popped her cherry with David. We'll just say that. All right. If you know what that means, you know what that means. If not, you probably don't need to.
It's to reveal that the girl Celeste may have had relations with another person by the name of Gus, right? And then that's where we come back to this comment. Okay, so those screens with Gus were revered the first time for not having S with him.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we actually need to go back a little bit.
For not having S with him. So... my P, I only B'd with David. The person says, And then this guy says, Celeste says, with Gus, I was just drunk and did it because he got mad at me the first time for not having S with him. So that chat appears to reveal that the girl Celeste may have had relations with another person by the name of Gus, right?
Wow, that is alarming. Okay, that's news. Okay, so my bad for skipping. That was the worst part to skip in the video. But basically Celeste revealed that her and David did stuff, right? And cherry was popped. But she also after did something with guy Gus. If that is alarming. And then apparently Gus died. So that's alarming.
And then that's where we come back to this comment. Okay, so those screenshots that I just breezed through are here, and they were sent to this person who's allegedly Celeste's brother, and they say, "Do you think this is real?" And the alleged brother replies, "Yes, I do. I know who Gus is. He's dead." And the person asks, "What happened?" And they say, "He got shot up, dead." And then the comment says, "You think by David or just some other stuff?" Now, I think I saw an extended version of this where he seemed to reply that it was some other stuff. Yeah, so here's the last part of that message is, he said, "You think it was a shot by David or just some other stuff?" And the guy just very ominously says, "Other stuff." And then that's the end of the conversation. They say, okay, now look, I'm not going to lie to you. This is all sounding a bit too suspicious.
It is. Now, we don't know who Gus is. He could have been caught up into some violence, or it could have been a freak accident. But this is interesting.
Telling me that this Gus guy, this other guy, you've got a love triangle. These two guys are fighting over this young ting, this underage person. All right. and this guy Gus is
Why he say
apparently
young thing,
getting his thing on. They're having some kind of argument. Someone was mad because she said he was mad because I didn't want to have a with him. Twisted, absolutely twisted. Okay, so it sounds like this Gus guy is dead. All right, and we're waiting for more information to come out about this Gus guy. I don't know who this Gus guy is. I don't know what this is all about. But in the midst of that,
okay, this could get crazy. Okay, so this is speculation. And I don't want to really say it's like I don't want to say this is what like probably happened, but with the information we're gathering, okay, we know that David was crazy obsessed with this girl Celeste. All right, so let's say an off chance David found out, and you know Celeste was also messing with Gus. So let's say an off chance David potentially found out that Celeste and Gus were also doing something. Maybe when Celeste and David was like fighting, man. Maybe they just had like, bro, no. Because I remember there's a video I've seen. All right, let me I know I kind of see them all over the place, but I'm piecing things together. There's a video I've seen on TikTok, and it's on Twitter. And it was from Celeste's teacher. And apparently, people knew. And the teacher knew too. He tried to do something about it, but the cops didn't do anything about it. But during one of the period of Celeste and David's relationship, Celeste actually ran away. Of course, we all know that. But she came back home for about a month. During this month, we don't know what happened. Maybe that was the month that her and Gus did things because she was away from David. I'm going to show you the video just so you can see it. And you know it's actually true. But this is alarming.
Classroom. Hold up. That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was this?
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, I met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our.
Here's my thing. Why did the cops find her in Hollywood, but they didn't arrest David? That is the weird part about it. I'm telling you, these industry niggas, they got certain pool. They can just get shit written off. Why didn't they arrest David when they found him with an underage girl who he who he kidnapped?
School kind of told people this story. She disappeared again.
That's going to be a lawsuit.
In May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened. That it was this rapper, that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media. Let me tell you another story. Hold on.
Okay. Shout out to the teacher shout out to the teacher for trying to spread awareness to his class. I've also seen people getting mad at the teacher talking about, why didn't he report on this? Nigga, the cops knew. What else could he have done? The cops already knew. They found her at David's house. What the fuck else could he do? The cops already knew. They ain't do shit about it. What was he gonna do? So, don't even blame bro. Here's where shit gets alarming. Here's where I'm piecing things together. This hypothesis, theory, not true, alleged, whatever. Because David let's say David found out about Gus. Because I'm assuming Celeste and Gus did whatever they did during the period where she came back that month. Once whatever happened with them was finished and she went back with David, let's say David asked, let's say somehow David found out about this shit. Maybe Celeste told her, or maybe he found out some other way. Wouldn't that be motive for him to her? If he's crazy, batshit crazy, he's obsessed with her, whatever. And not only that, wouldn't that be motive because we can obviously tell that David has a lot of money. He has a lot of He probably has a lot of pull in the industry. Wouldn't that also be motive for him to call in a little hit? Let's get Gus off of this planet too. Wouldn't that be motive? Now again, the brother did say he thinks Gus passed away from other things. You never know. That's speculation. We don't know why Gus passed away. But that's the hypothesis or the theory I'm thinking that Trap Lord Ross is leading to.
We're beginning to see more and more little tidbits of evidence come out that are just even more and more damning. So another post has been going around on the David subreddit saying David was wearing her bracelets. That's a picture of him with some bracelets on. People are saying it's the same bracelets that Celeste had on in this picture. Now, personally, I'm finding it hard to see that, but it kind of does look like the pink, the little pink joint that's going on here. I don't know if it's exactly the same one, but it does look very similar. The kind of hues look a bit similar. Now, one thing that I find a little bit strange, and I've been trying to find some evidence to this, but I seem to remember when the news first broke, I thought that I'd seen a couple of articles basically saying that another body was found. You know, if we're talking about this alleged person called Gus that was killed...
They probably thought it was two women because the body was chopped up. I don't know if
that sounds like a man. Sounds like a man's name, right? But I did remember this, and I haven't been able to find anybody else talking about this, and maybe there's no connection, but I did see at the time articles going around that suggested two women were found in cars being investigated as homicides. Now, it seemed, I don't know whether this was two unrelated situations, or whether it's the same situation, or whether maybe they initially thought there were two bodies because of the way that, you know, sadly the bodies were separated, if that makes sense. But it says the LA County Medical Examiner has released new details on the remains of one of two women who were discovered in vehicles at two tow yards this week. Both deaths are investigated as homicides. One woman's remains were discovered Monday when police responded to the Hollywood tow on Mansfield Avenue. Someone smelled a foul odor coming from the front trunk of the vehicle, and detectives investigated possible human remains. You know, we learned about that car. The descendant was found severely decomposed inside a vehicle. She appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. We were unable at the time to examine the age or ethnicity. Initially, the remains were described as a head and torso. The owner of the vehicle was identified as David. And here's what's interesting, right? The body of a second woman was found Tuesday in South Los Angeles after family members filed a missing persons report. The family had tracked a woman to a scorched Honda Civic that was being held on a tow yard at Westgate Avenue. The tow yard operator...
I don't think this is a little bit of a stretch. I think you can't associate... this is LA. People die every single day in LA. I'm going to be honest. So you can't really associate that with David. I think that's a stretch.
LAPD and said family members wanted to look at the car. Investigators rushed to the scene and found the woman's partially burned body in the trunk. The car had been towed onto the lot Sunday from the 6800 block of South Flower Street. The vehicle had been extinguished by LA City Fire, but firefighters never checked in the car and didn't see the woman's remains. So, look, it's not necessary that these two are connected. I think this could have been a coincidence. When the first reporting came out and they were talking about two bodies, I wasn't sure if it was two bodies in the same car, two bodies in different car, maybe two cars towed from the same spot. It looks like these are two separate things. But it's just so bizarre. And I think the thing about this Gus guy, when we find out more about him, I think that's going to be very revealing. So there's still been a lot of discussion about the potential motive. And some people have been saying that there's rumors that Celeste might have actually been pregnant at the time of her passing, and who knows, could that have, if that was the case, could that have been David's baby? Could it have been Gus's baby? Who knows how twisted this love triangle could really get. That's interesting to say, right? That. But these posts have been going,
what if it now look, did they say that I don't know if they said that because here's the thing with the pregnancy thing. If Celeste was actually pregnant, then there would be an infant in her body. The police haven't reported that yet. I would think they would report that before you more included into it, because that would be considered a double homicide at that point. So I don't think that was found. Let's say she did get an abortion. Okay, we can't track that. So at that point, you feel me? I don't know.
Going around and people are suggesting that maybe the messages infer that she could have been pregnant at the time. So this is David says, I'll join the group chat with wifey and give y'all the story time. And it says me and deleted user. This is David. Got a kid on the way.
I've seen that.
And then this is a conversation Somebody saying,
Yeah, we're not gonna ignore that. What, yo? Why do I see a duck caked up right now, bro? What type of freaky ass group chat is this?
basically, David, are you happily married or single? And basically, they're trying to find out what the relationship status is with him. And this deleted user, I think it's possible that this was Celeste. It's possible, all right. Atting David in the chat amid those rumors, people talking about kid on the way. That was a heart-stopping moment to read. Jesus Christ, bruh, double homicide. It's from 2024. She died 25 and couldn't have been pregnant. The last confirmed spotting of her was July 2024. The same month, both she and David mentioned pregnancy in Discord. She was allegedly alive until July 2025, meaning she was out of the public eye for an entire year. It's possible she did actually have a kid, which is scary as hell.
Oh my fucking God, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think of that. So she died in July. That's scary. I didn't even think about that.
And people are saying, even if it's a joke, making a joke about having a kid with a 13-year-old at 19 is insane. This guy really is worse than the Joker. People saying deleted user, though. It seems like other screen grabs still show her name. Saying yes, meaning she had multiple Discords, just like on Instagram, or this is disgustingly referring to another girl. And it's saying the pregnancy announcement was 2024, so if that was about Celeste, she would have given birth by now. If it's true, then it's possible she had an abortion or miscarriage. She was just a child.
So that would explain why there wasn't no body in the car. Okay.
Having a baby, oh boy.
Well, like a second body. Like a kid body. All right.
This is so effed. If she was pregnant then, she would have gave birth already.
That would also explain why she would run away with David and why she would get a promise ring if she was pregnant. That would also explain that.
Saying, poor girl, this is so sad. She thought she was living it up. Sometimes teenagers need to listen to their parents. She left multiple times to be with this punk-ass man. Not putting blame on her, but sometimes children do need to follow rules and listen to the adults in their lives and not behave in such rebellious ways. Again, I'm not blaming her, so please don't come for me. May she rest well. People saying she couldn't have gotten an abortion, though. If a 14-year-old showed up to a clinic with a 20-year-old, they would most definitely contact the authorities, especially if they recognize Celeste was a missing child on the run. That's facts.
That is facts.
That's facts.
That's facts.
Right?
So if she did get pregnant, she would have to give birth to the baby.
They're saying that these screenshots could be fake, saying darker by the minute. I'm telling you, he's a sicko, and he can't erase all of his.
But okay, this also brings up the question. Okay, what happened to the baby if they did have a baby? What happened to the baby? I'm not making it's a lot of speculating and assuming we doing, but at the same time, that would bring that question up.
Breadcrumbs. The investigators are busy. All right. He was saying, I highly doubt she was ever pregnant. She probably just wanted to find a way to go see someone to ask for help. It happens all the times for victims.
But okay, let's be honest. I don't think. Look. This is gonna. Please take this the right way. Take this the right way. I don't even say that.
Rather have dinner with David or King Von. That's crazy. Right. So this guy says, not sure if there's lots of proof of her wanting to be out other than one tweet where he says you wanted to be with your mum and sister, but this couldn't happen. Okay, actually typing that out, maybe you're right. Just saying that for a lot of it seems like he was manipulating her to be dependent on him to the point that she saw herself as just his girlfriend outside of the context of her being a child. Not defending him and don't mean to make it sound that way. I just think she probably never anticipated or had the mental maturity or age to understand just how much danger she was in. Parts of this I agree with. I think, let's just put, this is going to be hard to do, but let's say, put it in your shoes. You're 14, 15. Let's say a famous celebrity thinks that you're attractive and wants to be in a relationship with you, guy or girl. Let's say this is like your favorite celebrity. Even though in your subconscious, you probably recognize that this is weird and too good to be true. If your frontal, as a kid, you don't really realize how fucked up that is. So you're probably going to go. Which is why it's so fucked up that David did this shit, because you're manipulating a child. You know that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's weird. So, in that regard, right, as we've seen, she came back. Well, she went with David for the first time, then she came back around, for like a month. Then she left again. She obviously wanted to go back, whether it was David manipulating her or she wanted to keep on living her dream or she thought that she was really his girlfriend.
whatever it is manipulation. She didn't know what she was really doing. Which is why I feel like a lot of people failed this girl, bro. I don't know what was going on with the parents. I don't even want to cast blame on the parents or the family. You never know. But it's really weird to me how your daughter got kidnapped. She came back and then she went again. And y'all didn't do anything about it. To our knowledge. That's one thing that just doesn't sit right with me. This whole entire experience. I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I feel like that needs to be said. What's going on there? I don't know, man. This is a weird situation. And we don't know enough information to really make based opinions on this shit.
May she rest in peace, honestly. I do think she could have been pregnant potentially at some point or when he killed her. Having a baby with a 14-year-old is not something you can really hide, but murder was not the logical solution. Bro was a certified serial killer psychopath. Statistically, the most dangerous time for a woman with an abusive partner is during pregnancy, so I'm really thinking that's what happened. So look, this situation is so dark.
She was also found, she was only 70 pounds when she was found, too. So, if you're pregnant, don't you gain weight? That could disprove the pregnancy thing.
I'm not sure where this is going to go. I think everybody is waiting for an arrest to be made. A lot of people are pointing the finger at David, thinking that he's about to get arrested. We saw in the last video he was allegedly cooperating with authorities in the investigation. I'm seeing other comments on Reddit, people saying, no, he's not cooperating. He's actually lawyered up and is refusing to talk. These are just rumors that I'm seeing floating around. Can't give you the absolute 100% truth at this stage. But what I do know is that this is a huge story. This is going to keep developing. And whether an arrest is made, whether something else happens, whether a final conclusion is reached before justice can be delivered, I think we're going to find out soon. But it's really sad. We're hoping to see justice for Celeste, however that looks. We're hoping to find out what happened to this Gus guy. I'm very curious about who this Gus guy is. So we're going to find out. I'm going to keep you guys informed. Any updates I will have for you on this channel. I appreciate you all for watching.
Okay. So that's a concerning update. Do y'all think there's a second body? Do y'all think that David could have killed Gus? Do y'all think there could have been a kid that could have been too? Because that would look bad if David didn't have a kid with this girl. It's hard to hide some shit like that too. So do you think that could be a reason why Celeste also? We don't know, man. We really don't know. So this. I also want to figure out why David isn't arrested. So I'm probably going to react to a video like that right now. So expect another video about this situation to come out again. All right.